Welcome to the Jed Said Therapy channel, where a little awareness goes a long way. I'm Jed Thorpe, licensed therapist, and today we're talking about 3 human biases. I don't know how they're not going to be human, but 3 biases that quietly run our lives. Stay tuned. I think you're going to dig this video. All right, welcome back. That didn't take long. I'm glad you're here. Now, before we break down this whole bias thing, be sure to push all the good buttons you see in front of you. And if you're not part of the 120-something thousand subscribers, what's keeping you? All right, now let's go have some fun. Right away, it's important to know that biases are one of the brain's main defense mechanisms. You've heard this term before. Freud came up with defense mechanisms way back in the late 1800s. His daughter, however, bless her daddy-issued soul, she did most of the digging around this topic. And by the 1960s, finally, cognitive bias was coined by 2 people, Amos Tversky and, I kid you not, Daniel Kahneman. All biases are cognition-based, but now thankfully we can separate them better. Actually, social sciences may be too good at labeling these things. There's so many of them, over 100. We're only doing 3, and they're the biggest 3 that I see in session. Cognitive bias number 1 is confirmation bias. Ooh, this one's everywhere. It's the habit of looking for information that supports what we already believe and brushing anything off that challenges it. And again, these biases are defense mechanisms. Our brains are just trying to keep us feeling safe. And doesn't being right feel good? Certainty feels safe. Doubt? Not so much. So the brain filters reality to protect comfort, which is not so great. If you already believe something like, I'm bad at relationships, or people can't be trusted, your brain's quietly going to collect evidence to support that narrative. It's also how the whole self-fulfilling prophecy ever came to be. If you want to get out of this prophecy, a helpful question to ask yourself here isn't, is this true? It's, what might I lose if it's not true? Next is the present bias, or what I like to call the I'll deal with it later, maybe. Ultimately, it's good old-fashioned instant gratification. It happens when immediate relief matters more than long-term well-being. Scrolling feels good right now. Avoiding the conversation feels safer right now. Hey, talk about doing taxes. Come on. Change can wait. That's not laziness, that's wiring. You know how Bears beats Battlestar Galactica? Well, in this bias, immediate relief almost always beats delayed reward, especially when we're stressed or, in more primitive brain terms, feeling unsafe. You want to get out of this bias? Try this. Instead of asking, why can't I stop? Try asking, what relief am I getting right now from this? And more importantly, what might this relief be costing me later? That single question snaps us out of this habitual thinking autopilot track we're in. Hey, go ahead, try it. And the last but not least is negativity bias. There's a lot of names for this one. Safety bias, threat bias, yada, yada, yada. It's basically the brain's tendency to focus more on what went wrong than what went right, or even okay. For this bias, one bad moment will outweigh 10 decent ones. And from a survival standpoint, this makes perfect sense. And I get it. Way back in the day, it did help our species survive. Today, not so helpful. Over time, compliments are going to slide right off, wins are going to feel temporary, and mistakes, they're going to feel permanent. A simple practice to help reset this whole outdated primitive bias is to make a habit every night of naming 3 neutral things that went well that day. It doesn't even have to be great, just something that went not bad. 3 a day, that's all you have to do. And hey, it'll take some time to skim you out of these old biases, so make these new practices a routine. Put some time into it. Also, listen, our brains don't like changing things. They love familiarity, even when it's uncomfortable. So even though these things we're talking about are for our best interests, doesn't matter. Our brains are going to fight us. That said, it'll probably try to think you out of doing any of this stuff. When it does, remember, you're not forcing positivity with this one. You're just balancing perspective. and the way you perceive things. In other words, you're really good at this thought muscle of seeing negativity. All you're doing is strengthening another way of looking at something. It's wild, right? Turns out that the brain's main job isn't to keep us safe, it's to keep us feeling safe. These biases aren't flaws, they were shortcuts. They existed to reduce discomfort and preserve energy and protect pleasure. But in 2006, shortcuts come at a cost. So maybe it's time to turn these old, outdated biases into something new. A better bias, maybe. Is any of this making sense? Has any of this sounded familiar? Any of it ringing a bell? Leave a comment. What are your thoughts on this? And listen, I'm glad you're here. That was fun. And until next time, awareness up.